It's Wolf, and it's a live stream, and I'm streaming in 1080p, right? Okay. For a second there, I don't know why I thought I had it set up my recording profile, but it's in my streaming profile. If it was the recording profile, hooey, my poor internet would be taking a beating. I don't, I should try sometime to see if it's possible. Oh, thanks, TV. Yeah, just what I need, a software update for my television. Anyway, I should try sometime to see if it's possible for me to stream in 4K because that would be very impressive. I think I've said it before. I'm pretty sure my Mac Studio could handle it, but I don't know if my internet connection could. Anyway, here we are in Call of Duty Black Ops 2 Zombies. I think I've streamed this from PC before, but like not that many times. Anyway, I just wanted to do a little stream today just because I haven't streamed in like about a week. I haven't streamed at all since the year started, and it's 8 days into it now. So I figured I would do a little stream. Also, specifically, I wanted to do a stream because so my girlfriend is actually going to be traveling, and I know she likes to watch my streams, and so like it's her personal details, so I'm not going to get too deep into it because I don't know how much like she would want me to be blabbering about it on my live stream. But I mentioned before that we met in the UK. We both went to grad school there, and I said before how she was still living there. She was still there on a graduate visa, which I could have done, but I didn't. Like I wasn't having any luck finding jobs, so I didn't do that. That's why I came home earlier than her. But she was still in the UK for a while. But now she is gonna be going back to her home country soon. And like I said, I'm not gonna get like super deep into details about like where she's from or anything because I don't know if she would want me to like share that. But I know that like traveling and stuff can be kind of stressful and everything, and I know that she likes to watch my streams, and I don't know if she'd be able to watch it like on the plane anyway, because like half the time you can't actually get internet on the plane. But I figured nonetheless, like if she has a layover or something, she could watch this, or like when she gets home, because I know she's a little bit stressed out about her move back to her home country and everything, just because like she hasn't been there in a while, like she hasn't lived there in a while, and it's going to be a further distance for us, and the time difference is going to be different, but I think it'll be okay, and I don't know, I figured there's just part of me that like alongside wanting to do a stream thought that like even if she watches this when she gets home or whatever, it might be kind of like comforting for her to see some normalcy in like sort of our routines with me doing a stream and everything. One second here. I have to turn the volume down on that. Although, something I don't think I mentioned yet. She actually got me, speaking of my girlfriend, she got me a really nice pair of headphones, that I might use in the future for stream stuff and stuff. I'm not totally sure. Oh, I thought I could turn the field of view up. Sweet. Yes, much better. Yeah, I already had a pair of headphones, but they were kind of beaten up. Sony MDR 7506s. Really nice headphones, but yeah, like I said, I'd been using them for a long time, and they just got kind of beaten up and everything, so I kind of needed to get a new pair anyway, and she got me a nice pair of Marshall headphones, and now that I'm describing this, I feel like I might have said this before, but yeah, they're nice. They work on Bluetooth and aux cords, so that's really, really cool. And I haven't even had to charge them yet. They came like partially charged, and I've worn them quite a bit, and I still haven't even had to charge them, so that's been nice. Um, but yeah, I was debating on whether or not to play Infinite Warfare Zombies or Black Ops 2 Zombies, and originally I was gonna play Infinite Warfare, but then the more I thought about it, I was like, you know what? No, I kind of feel more like playing Black Ops 2, because it feels like a little bit of a classic stream setup for me, like middle of the night, and then also, when I was in college, sometimes on like rainy nights specifically, I would stream, and it's not actually raining for me right now, but it's like where I live, we're supposed to get some like heavy rain, I think, over the weekend, and it hasn't started yet, but it's weird because it's like it's dark outside, so you can't see clouds, but like you can feel it was really windy earlier. Like I could feel it while I was driving. But also like you can almost like smell rain sometimes when it's gonna rain. I could almost kind of like because the air is almost like you can almost like smell the moisture in the air when it's gonna rain, and that's almost like how it felt. So it should rain at some point, but probably not while I'm streaming because it's still not for like a couple hours yet that I think it's supposed to start. But I wouldn't be surprised if it started earlier. Another cool thing, I got a new mouse, so you guys might hear it a little more clicky clacky. Apologize for that, or apologies for that if it's a little annoying. I don't really have a good way to like cut out my mouse sound when I do streams or videos from PC, especially because it's kind of, I have it like right next to the microphone. So sorry if that's kind of loud. I don't think it should be too loud though, but I ended up getting a Razer. What even is this? A Razer DeathAdder Essential. I wasn't really, like, I kind of needed to get a new mouse because my old mouse was starting to, sometimes when I would click on stuff, it would like double click itself. It would register more than one click. So I was like, yeah, I'm starting to need a new one anyway. And I was at Walmart the one day, and I kind of forget that a lot of Walmarts now have like a little PC gaming section. And they had it, okay. They had a couple of, wait, I really need to use my points a little more wisely. I'm kind of screwing up my run here, not thinking. They had a couple different computer mice, and in particular, they had this one for, it was like 20 bucks. And I'm not sure how much of a sale that truly is, but it was the same price as like the Walmart branded gaming mouse. And I was like, oh, wait a minute, that actually seems like a pretty okay price for a DeathAdder, like a Razer DeathAdder. It's pretty nice. It's got 2 extra buttons on the side, but I don't actually plan on programming them for anything because I just don't really need them. And right now they don't do anything, and that's kind of nice actually because I keep accidentally clicking them because I'm not used to the shape of this mouse. But otherwise, it's a really nice mouse. I'm glad to have it. And honestly, similarly, I'll probably need to get a new keyboard soon as well. I don't know if I'll get like a gaming keyboard necessarily because this might sound weird, but mechanical keyboards actually kind of annoy me. Like the way they click and clack. Like they don't feel right on my fingers, I guess, as somebody who's used computers a lot without mechanical keyboards. But we'll see, because I mean, I know that they are nice and everything. But I don't know. The one I have right now is just like, it's like a HP. Yeah, I have an HP keyboard that I bought like forever ago. I actually remember what ended up happening. It was before I even owned a desktop computer or anything. I didn't really need a keyboard, but the one that, like, I had some extra money. I was a kid and I had some extra money, and I was at like a Target or something the one day, and I was like, you know, I should get a keyboard, like, because I think I wanted to try on PS3 and PS4. In some games you could use keyboard and stuff, so I was like, you know, I'll go ahead and get a keyboard and like test it out. So I got this one for like $10-15 or something, and used it a little bit for a few things, but then it's kind of always like, it's never really seen consistent use until now when I bought my Mac Studio, because that was the first like that was the first time I had a computer, like my main computer, be a desktop computer. And now also with the gaming computer that I got a while back. Yeah, now it's seeing quite a bit of use, but it is sort of old too, so. Trying to think. I've been thinking, like, you know, it's the first stream of 2026 that I've done, and I've been kind of thinking of like stuff to talk about, and of course now that I'm actually doing the stream, I can't think of any of the things that I wanted to talk about. But yeah, it's like 8 days into 2026, and like, on the one hand, I know there's a lot of kind of concerning things happening in the world at large, but aside from that, in my own personal life, stuff is going okay so far, I guess. I haven't actually really done that much this year so far, which I kind of wanted to get on the ball with, like, working on things and like applying for more jobs and stuff like that, but I haven't really gotten to that yet because I've actually kind of been busy the first couple days of the year. I ended up like, my mom and I went the one day, and we actually went to a casino together to just kind of like have a fun day out. I did a lot of shopping because I think I mentioned like last year I was already sort of starting to like flip my wardrobe and kind of I have a tendency to like just not throw clothes away and just not buy clothes. So I was like, I need to get some new clothes and I need to get rid of some of these old clothes. So I started doing some of that, and so I've been kind of shopping and like refilling my wardrobe after throwing away kind of almost everything. Um, so yeah, which actually, man, do you guys ever have a day where you just do like a ton of stuff and then you don't really want to go outside for like a couple weeks? That's how I felt the other day. I ended up I so I already had like kind of refilled a bunch of my wardrobe, but then there's a pretty fancy town nearby. There's like a really like actually a really rich town kind of near where I live. It's probably the most wealthy area in like the state that I live in. And I've been over there a few times because there's like doctors and stuff there that like me and family members have had appointments at and stuff and things like that. But I was thinking to myself, I've been going to like Marshalls, Ross, places like that to do a lot of the shopping. I was like, I wonder if they have any of those in the fancy neighborhood, and subsequently, if they do, if they'll have the good stuff. Ooh, 5.7s. Hey, I have a cool story about 5.7s in a second here. But yeah, so I went to the fancy neighborhood, and they didn't have like any of the like sort of like last stop retailers there for like as in I guess like buy like closeout retailers. I don't know exactly what you'd consider them, just like clearance places kind of. But like so there's this like uber fancy neighborhood, and then there's another neighborhood next to that neighborhood that's also quite wealthy but not as wealthy. In between those two neighborhoods, they had a couple stores. So I ended up going, and long story short, I spent way longer outside that day than I expected to. I ended up being running around for like, it was probably like 8 hours because I kept going from store to store to store. And by the end of it, man, I was just so tuckered out, and I still am kind of tired, and I don't really want to go anywhere for a while. Yeah. And then the other thing that sucked too, though, was that I actually didn't really feel that good yesterday and the day before yesterday too, so that didn't really help when I was running around the other day. It was like both days I kind of woke up feeling fine, and then I ended up I have it happen sometimes where like I'll end up my stomach will be upset and I'll have a little bit of a headache and like my sinuses will feel weird, but I don't actually have a stuffy nose. I don't know what exactly that is. I don't really like to use AI for that much stuff, but my girlfriend uses AI quite a bit, and I was kind of thinking to myself, this might actually be something that AI could be useful for, like Googling asking the AI what exactly these symptoms kind of could add up to be. And I think I actually ran it through both, what did I use? I think I used Google Copilot and Microsoft, or wait, is it Microsoft Copilot and Google's? I don't remember. I used Google's and I used Bing's AIs to ask, and they both kind of said actually the same thing, which is maybe a good sign. Although all these AI chatbots are kind of based on the same information, really. They all work exactly the same way. Said it could be like an acid reflux thing, which would make sense, but it kind of sucks if it is, because like there's not like a ton you can do about that. Or at least not a ton that I can think of to do about that, but it would make sense because I've had issues with acid reflux before. But yeah, and then it was like the day after that, I was feeling pretty good. But then I took a nap in the middle of the day, and when I woke up, my sinuses were like on fire. And I was kind of freaked out because sometimes if I'm falling sick, that's like how I'll feel, like my sinuses will feel really bad. But I ended up, like, I got up, I had something to eat, had a lot of water to drink, took a shower, and then, ended up feeling better, and then now we're today, and I feel pretty normal today. My stomach is still kind of upset today. Yeah, so that's not perfect. Also, like, I ended up scratching myself. I gave myself, like, a rug burn with one of my, piece of my clothing on, like, a joint that I have to move a lot, and it's kind of really annoying. but hopefully that pain goes away soon, especially because I shouldn't have to move that much over the next few days. So just gonna kind of hope that goes away. um but yeah, with the shopping thing, man, I got some cool stuff though, actually. So going to like Ross and the fancy neighborhood and stuff, it didn't really, it at first it didn't really give me anything too grand compared to like other discount clothing stores that I've been to. But I did find some cool stuff. I found this really nice blanket for one, which is awesome because I had been looking for a new blanket. So that's been really comfortable. Although I actually had to go to a laundromat to wash it because it's so big. It was too big for my washing machine, and then God, that turned into a whole thing because like the washing machines weren't working, and then like the owners of the laundromat were there, and like their friends who like also own a laundromat were there to like try to help them figure out what was wrong with the machines. And then like and then like there was a mechanic, and then like I had put money into the one machine, and then they were like, oh wait a minute, we're not sure if this is gonna work. So then they gave me like a free wash, but that didn't work, and then they gave me a free wash on another machine, and then like my blanket got stuck in the one washing machine, and they had to like yank the door open, and oh goodness me, it turned into a whole scenario. But it was kind of interesting actually, because the guy who apparently owns that laundromat is like younger than me, and I kind of heard him talking business about it, and that I don't know. I know it's one of those things where like laundromats and car washes and similar passive income like things like that are not always that passive, because there's actually a lot that you have to do with some of those sometimes. But I always have thought that could be an interesting like path to own like something like a laundromat or a car wash. I've always also found laundromats and car washes to be really relaxing for some reason. Maybe it's just because there's so much water around in them. But anyway, that's a really long side story about my blanket. But another cool thing. So I found this cool store a while ago, and so it was in a mall, and it's like there's this store that looks like it from the outside it looks like it's exclusively women's clothing, right? But the one day I noticed out of the corner of my eye they had like a few signs for men's clothing, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Do they have men's clothing in here? So I looked, and sure enough they did, and it's actually cool because like they have this really tiny section. Hang on, I'll be right back. Well, I'm not going anywhere. I just need to grab a sweatshirt. Okay, I'm back. I've been sweatshirted. Oh, did I just run over a wire? No, okay, I didn't. So this store, it has, and I'm not gonna say the name of it because I'm not sure if it's just one store or if it's part of a chain. It looks like it's part of a chain, but I'm not sure. But anyway, so it I went in there, and like all the men's clothes they have is like urban, like streetwear kind of stuff, like the kind of stuff that I like the really loud and chaotic clothes. And they actually have that stuff for really cheap. And the funny thing is, like some of the exact clothes that I've seen in that store before are the type of clothes, or some of the same exact clothes that I see at these like streetwear only stores for like 3 times the price. And so yeah, and the first time I found out about this place and that they had this little like secret men's section, I didn't have like any money with me, so I couldn't buy anything. This time I actually brought some money with me, and they had a bunch of cool stuff, but the thing that sucked was they didn't, oh dang it, I really need to get Juggernog. The thing that sucked was that they didn't have a lot that was in my size. So but I did end up getting some cool stuff, not only from there, but from other places too. Also, something else, I ended up getting a hockey jersey. I was wanting, like, I've been wanting to get some hockey. Oh, okay, I guess we're gonna Start a new match. I've been wanting to get some hockey jerseys because I like the way they fit. Like I like the way that they're kind of oversized because I'm I'm a little bit of a taller guy. I'm not like that tall, but I'm on like the tall side of the spectrum. Um, and so and also like I have a little bit of a belly and also like maybe a big torso. Like my girlfriend and mom, when I like said that before, they were like, no, you just need to lose weight. And yes, I do need to lose weight, but I've also encountered this issue even when I didn't have like a little bit of a belly. Um, but so sometimes clothes like even like kind of shirts that are oversized on me width wise, they don't really fit me like height wise. So that's the nice thing about hockey jerseys is that they're kind of long. So anyway, I kind of wanted to try to get a hockey jersey while I was out, but I didn't really know if I would be able to because for one, hockey jerseys are like actually really expensive. They're like over $100 usually, and they can also be kind of hard to find sometimes. So anyway, though, at one of the discount stores, I actually ended up finding a random hockey jersey. It's a Seattle Krakens jersey. I don't know if it's Seattle Krakens or Seattle Kraken, but anyway, a Seattle hockey team jersey, and I was like, oh, huh. I don't know how this ended up in the South, but why not? So I ended up buying it. It was like half price compared to the original sticker price of it, which was cool. And they also so hockey jerseys are kind of sized weird sometimes. I think is that like they always use European sizes for them. So anyway, they actually had it in the 3XL section, even though it was really only equivalent to an XL. So I had to go make sure that it fit and everything because I was like I looked it up, but I want to make sure that I'm actually reading these sizes right. But yeah, so I got that. Um, and that was my shopping day, I guess. That's kind of it. But speaking of shopping and stuff, something else I've been thinking about. So I'm gonna be ordering some stuff online. I think a little project that I want to do this year is I want to try to really preserve some of my game collection. Um, I I'm trying to think of how to word this. So like modern video games, I still like a lot of games that are coming out. However, I have found myself over the past how many years has it been since PS5 came out? Like 5 years now. The past couple years, I've really found myself like buying less new games and often buying a lot more like older games or like playing older games in my collection and stuff. And I've been thinking, I'm not really buying that many new games. Like, I really should maybe look into trying to preserve some of my old game collection because like I've looked into like emulating PS3 and stuff, and this computer that I'm playing Black Ops 2 on right now can emulate PS3 pretty well and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, it would be nice to kind of try to dump like a large collection, like a large portion of my game collection across my consoles, and just have it available for like not needing the disc. So that way I can play it on emulators or I can play it on modded consoles, stuff like that. Especially because discs only last for so long, like even if they're stored perfectly, a disc is not necessarily going to last forever. Um, so I was looking into like the best ways to do this because part of me just thought about like slapping it on a hard drive and hoping for the best, but I ended up finding out about this thing called the M disk, which stands for Millennium Disk, I believe. And so it's pretty much like like a souped up Blu-ray format, and I guess any Blu-ray drive can read them. Only certain Blu-ray drives are compatible with writing to them, though. But anyway, I guess the whole concept is that they're supposed to be able to last for a millennium. Hang on one second. My nose is running. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So what I was saying. the concept, I guess, behind them is that they're supposed to be able to last for a millennium, which is 1,000 years, which is pretty dang impressive. So I was looking into how much it would cost to like get started with that, and it's like a couple $100, which is expensive, but is not that expensive for if they actually really do live up to the name and can last that long. Um, so I've been thinking about like trying to go and pretty much doing like the old like backup, double backup thing. I don't know. I think I don't want to sound mean, but I do think some people get a little weird with data backup for no reason. So I know that there's the whole thing about like, oh, if you don't have offsite version, then you're not really backed up, blah blah blah. But it's like, I'm not that concerned about it, dude. You know, like, um, so my concept right now is like I'd like to get. So I already have some external SSD enclosures, so that way I can just use like normal drives as removable storage without having to worry about USB sticks and stuff like that. My concept right now is to get a couple of SSDs and have those be kind of like my day-to-day storage for like game dumps and game archiving and stuff. And so like I could have, you know, an SSD has all my PS3 games on it, and then I could maybe play them right off of the SSD, or like if I wanted to play them, you know, like if I couldn't play them right off of the external SSD, like just transfer it to the actual computer and then play it that way, or inversely, load it onto a modded console and then play them that way. Which, by the way, I just want to note, if anybody is like from PlayStation is watching, that I'm doing all of this to the maximum of like what I know is legal with like making game backups and stuff in the US, since I'm not actually going to be distributing any of this stuff to anybody else. Um, so pretty much keep stuff on that, but then also use those Millennium discs to make like more permanent backups of the games, and then just kind of store those somewhere. Not really use those, but just kind of have those as like the long term of like, if an SSD breaks, then I can recreate that SSD based off of the Millennium discs. Use it kind of almost like with music, how there's like a master copy of a song usually, and then all the other copies are made from that master copy. Have my Millennium discs be kind of like my master copies of my backups of games. So anyway, that's the idea. But it's just, whoa, am I faster for some reason? No, it might just be the FOV. Yeah, anyway, long description, but that's a thing that I kind of like to work on this year. Speaking of game preservation and also stuff I'd like to do soon, I just found out that Anthem is going to be shutting down in like 3 days, 4 days. I think it shuts down on the 12th of January. Which I own that game, and I've never really played around with it that much because I got it for really cheap, and you need PlayStation Plus for it, and a lot of the times I don't have PlayStation Plus, so I just kind of set it aside for a while when I found out that it was like, no, you like need PlayStation Plus to play it at all, because sometimes you can actually play some games that are multiplayer without PlayStation Plus that are not just free-to-play games. Like free-to-play games you can play without PlayStation Plus, but also some games that are not always multiplayer you can play without PlayStation Plus. So like The Division, you can play that without PlayStation Plus. You just can't like party up with people and stuff. But anyway, so that's one of those, but Anthem is one that you need PlayStation Plus to play at all. So that kind of sucks. But now I have PlayStation Plus, and it's like, wait a minute, oh my god, this game shuts down in just a few days. And I looked up how long the campaign of Anthem is, and apparently it's like 14 hours if you're just doing the campaign and you're really focused on it, which is not that long for a game. So I kind of really want to try to maybe spend some time over the next few days trying to finish Anthem before it closes down, and maybe even recording a good chunk of that. Just because, like, I actually do like Anthem. The little bit of Anthem that I have played, I actually had a lot of fun with it. So I'd like to try to kind of get my money out of it. Only thing is just that it's like a time restraint kind of thing. If it shuts down in a couple days and like I've got work and stuff, I don't know if I'll necessarily be able to finish it. But I think like right as soon as I finish this stream tonight, I'm gonna whip out my PS4 and install Anthem on there and everything, and like try to maybe get to it, because it's one of those things where it's just like sometimes stuff just pops up and ends up taking priority, which kind of sucks. But it's also like, dang it, man, I want to play Anthem. So yeah. Like, I still haven't finished watching Tripping the Rift either. I started watching that a while ago. I'm still only on disc 2 of season 1. How much is Juggernog? I think 2,500. You know, at the beginning of the stream, I kind of got sidetracked by other stuff I want to talk about, but, you know, I was talking about how, like, girlfriend is going to be moving, and, like, how this year has been kind of good, but also, you know, the world at large has kind of had some not great stuff happen in the first few days. And, you know, I wanted to kind of make a positive note in this stream, just that, like, you know, I feel like the 2020s have been a decade where we're very, like, humanity has been very kind of quick to write off any given year, because this whole decade didn't really start on a good note. Like, 2020 itself, I remember I was still in college, I was actually really having a good time, and then, you know, just a couple months into 2020, COVID-19 pandemic happened, and then it kind of feels like every year this year, there's been something, or like a few things that have happened at the beginning of the year that have really kind of screwed up the whole vibe. And I feel like because of that, people are very quick to sort of give up on every year this decade so far. And I think it's important to not do that. Because I don't know why, but I have a really solid feeling about 2026 that this is going to be a good year. Like, and this is going to be maybe a year that changes stuff for the better. In terms of like some of the like crazy stuff that's been going on in the world. So hopefully I'm right. But yeah, even though like there's some rough things going on, don't be so quick to write off the year, because I think there's a chance it'll get better. But yeah. I need to get back to applying for jobs and stuff. I'd been mentioning that before. I haven't really done that this year either, which I kind of feel bad about, because I really want to do that. The thing is, like, honestly, when I was saying about not feeling great the other day, even though it might have been like acid reflux, which is not really like anything's fault, I think, you know, alongside just like needing to get a better job for like pay reasons and like time reasons and stuff, I really don't think my job is that great for my health. Working in kind of a dusty environment, needing to like move and like do a lot of movement all day, it's my job right now honestly really kind of is like a moderate activity level exercise for just like hours on end, which for some people that kind of works, but for me that's really hard on my body. And so I think it would be good if I could have a job that maybe was a little bit less physically intense. And it's not that I don't like to get exercise and stuff, but it's just like I like to kind of do it on my own time. I don't like to have to be forced sort of to be constantly moving because my job depends on it. But yeah, I just like I feel like it's similar when I worked at a restaurant before having this current job. There were a lot of times like that job was similar in that there was kind of constant like on my feet movement, stress all the time with that job, and this job is less stressful. But either way, I remember kind of the same thing, having like kind of health issues from that, where like I wouldn't feel that good, or like I would just be like extremely exhausted all the time and stuff. I think, but then like when I think about jobs that I had in college, like doing IT stuff and AV stuff and everything, like it's not that it wasn't work, but it was just a much less intense physically work, and also in like a cleaner environment. I think that worked a lot better for me. Honestly, even the restaurant job though, I think did like kind of was better on my health because working in a kitchen, like a kitchen needs to be clean. So it was always very nice and clean in there, dust free. Like we never saw any bugs or anything except for like flies every now and again. There weren't any like roaches or stink bugs or anything like that. Um, but yeah, we'll see. Oh no, I got distracted trying to see how long the stream has been. Also, I need to be careful with my ammo because I have ballistic knives and I need to get a better weapon than them. Oh, that's a better weapon than them. The ray gun is good. Ray gun is, you know, the kind of classic Call of Duty Zombies wonder weapon. The only thing that sucks with the ray gun in Black Ops 2, at least specifically in town, is the splash damage on it. The splash damage on this thing can do you in so quickly. And there's no PhD flopper to negate splash damage in town, so you got to be kind of really careful with it. My girlfriend and I actually talking about playing video games and also like hanging out with my girlfriend. We played Roblox last night, and she convinced me to play this haunted shawarma stand game, and I think I lasted for about 10 minutes until I got jump scared and just left, and I said no more. Yeah, I really don't like horror games that much. Okay, well, okay, let me take that back. It's not that I like hate horror games, I just hate certain types of horror games. I like horror games that have stories and that have like horror as an aspect of the game, that it's not just jump scares. Like if it's like a psychological thing or whatever, I can handle that. If it's like a kind of like a Resident Evil or like I played Siren Blood Curse a couple months ago, like Silent Hill, stuff like that, I can deal with. But games that are like Five Nights at Freddy's, where it's just very stress inducing, I really don't like those. They make me really anxious. And so that's kind of how that shawarma game was. And it was kind of fun at first, but also it was like really stressful, so didn't really enjoy that. But we played a couple other games too that were really fun. We played, there's a disaster survival game on Roblox that has been on there forever, that I even remember playing when I was a kid, and we played that for a little bit. That was really cool. And then what was the other one? We played, there was one about running a store, and we actually did really good on that one. I pretty much ran the register while she like restocked shelves and ordered inventory and stuff, and we actually made a really good team that way. Partially because I know how to run a register sort of in real life, in the way that the game had it set up is very similar to what I've learned in real life about running cash registers. You know, people really hate the it's the SMR, right? Yeah. People really hate the SMR, but I actually really kind of like it. It's not, you know, the most powerful gun or the most accurate gun, but it's like a solid one. Also, it's one of those guns that like high rate of fire, because it's pretty much as quick as you can click. Which reminds me, similarly, high rate of fire gun that's very fast. The dual 5.7s I had earlier. Unfortunately, I didn't really get to talk about it that much, but and so, like, this is gonna be one of those things that I'm not sure how much I'm gonna talk about it, because I know that it's a topic that makes some people uncomfortable. But real life guns, 5.7. I actually got a 5.7 in real life not that long ago, because it's one of my favorite weapons in town on zombies to use, is the dual 5.7s, or even just the singular 5.7. Actually, I think I'm gonna keep the SMR and I'm gonna pack a punch it shortly. The dual 5.7s, they're just such a like kind of cool pistol in this game, and so they're also like the 5.7 in Black Ops 2 is very clearly modeled after the like first generation FN 5.7 from real life. I mean, it even shares the same name. Like 5.7 is the caliber of the round. So there are multiple 5.7 round pistols, but there's only like one pistol named the 5.7, which is the one that FN makes. And they've made a newer version of it, but this one is obviously the older version because the game came out before the newer version. And anyway, when my girlfriend came to visit, I wanted to take her to the shooting range because she had never shot a gun before because she's not from the US. And I wanted to get a gun that was maybe better for kind of a first-time shooter because the only pistol that I owned before was a 1911 chambered in 45. And like, I mean, I could have maybe borrowed one from a family member that was a different caliber or whatever, but that's the only one that I owned. And that one actually, oh wait, I got max ammo. Okay, I'm not going to pack a punch the SMR yet. And that one actually like kind of hurts your hand when you fire it because it's not super powerful. Like it's not too much to control. Like when I've shot that before, I can kind of rapid fire it and keep it under control, but it can hurt your wrist if you shoot it enough. 45 caliber is like, I know it's a pretty common caliber, but it's really not something to mess with necessarily if you've never shot a gun before, I think. So anyway, 5.7 rounds, even though I don't know if they're necessarily more powerful or not, but they're a little weird. They're like a rifle round that's pistol sized. They look almost exactly, or they look very similar to like a 5.56 round. Anyway, my point is they don't kick as much. And like that's kind of similar to how the game represents it, how the 5.7 in Black Ops 2 really doesn't have that much recoil. So I'd wanted to get a gun that like didn't have that much recoil for my girlfriend to shoot. And I was like, I wonder if I can find a 5.7 round. And sure enough, a local gun store actually had one in stock, and it was brand new. It almost looked kind of like an old stock thing that they just couldn't get rid of because it was the older model of 5.7, which was specifically what I wanted because that was the one that I had seen in this game. And they actually had it for a really good price compared to like buying it online to have it ordered to a gun store or whatever. And so I ended up getting it, and it's always like kind of a weird experience to do anything in real life that you've done in a video game, whether it's shooting a gun in real life that you shot in a video game, or driving a car in real life that you drove in a video game, that kind of thing. But yeah, but it's also one of those things where it's really fascinating, like to be able to see. Oh, hang on, need to change how I'm setting, but this guy's coming at me. To see how accurate something is to a specific thing, because like with some guns, like a video game does not necessarily model itself after like a certain manufacturer, like there's some guns that are very specifically, oh god, I'm trying to remember what button. Oh no, not down. Is it control? No, can't remember what button it is to change the scope. Hang on. Wait, what? Is this for controller support, maybe? Alt fire. 5? Maybe. I'm not sure, because this has a double scope on it. Usually there's a button that you can press to change the other scope. But anyway, but yeah, so there's like a lot of guns that are kind of just generic like firearms in video games. They're not always based on like a specific one or whatever, or like you can't tell. Like there's a ton of different manufacturers for 1911s. But with the 5.7 in Black Ops 2, you can pretty clearly tell that it's specifically supposed to be the FN 5.7. And so it's just fascinating to kind of see the real life version of it compared to the one in the games. I even had thought before about maybe making a comparison video at some point about comparing the Black Ops 2 5.7 to a real life 5.7. But I don't know. I feel like that might be a bit too much because my channel is a gaming channel, and putting a real gun on my channel feels kind of odd. Yeah, so I don't think I'll actually do that. But anyway, my point is, the Black Ops 2 5.7 is actually very accurate to the real gun. .5.7s also have a huge ammo capacity because of the way the bullets are shaped, how they're all kind of like small rifle rounds. They fit a ton of ammo in one magazine, which I think is represented in the game as well. If I remember right, I think it's like 15 shots in the magazine in Black Ops 2 Zombies for the 5.7. If I remember right, it's actually even more in real life. It's like 20 rounds in a lot of 5.7 magazines. Oh wow, we're already around 14. I wasn't even paying attention. See, that's one of the nice things sometimes when you play a game that like you're used to playing and you can easily talk and play. Like I can talk so much while I'm playing Black Ops 2 and not really pay that much attention, because I'm just so used to playing this game. And same with like some other zombies modes, but sometimes when I'm playing like racing games or whatever, it's a lot harder for me to focus, and that's why I end up screwing up a bunch. I actually had even thought about streaming Anthem tonight to try to do the thing what I was saying with like trying to play through Anthem over the next few days. But yeah, I decided against it because I was like, nah, the timing of it won't work. By the time I actually were to get Anthem downloaded, set up, everything, it would be way too late to like want to even do a stream. That being said, I know the stream hasn't been super long, but on my next down or around 20, I'm probably going to end the stream because it is really late for me, and I have some stuff I got to do tomorrow and some stuff I got to do tonight, so, and I want to get to bed relatively soon. I want to get some good sleep tonight, so. Oh no. Someday, I think it... Oh, well, okay. I guess that's the end of the run. I had said the next down. Oh, that sucks. No ammo for my ray gun. Someday, I think it could be interesting to do a run where I don't really focus so much on rounds as I focus on, like, trying to get as many points as possible. I don't know if anybody's ever gotten, like, 1,000,000 points in town, but I'm curious if it's possible, especially because sometimes, like, when you get too high of point values or whatever, the game can actually crash. Like how, I think there's, like, certain round numbers that the game will crash at in Call of Duty Zombies. But yeah, anyway, I'm pretty tired. It's pretty late. So yeah, it's first stream of 2026. Also, I uploaded a video for first video of 2026. Did a 15 first impressions of the new Skate. I actually had recorded the audio and video for that a while ago, but just didn't get around to editing it until now. But I've got some more videos that I want to work on, but kind of like I mentioned back when I did the Christmas stream a couple days ago, I guess weeks ago now, this year I really do need to focus more on finding like a better real life job, so videos and streams might be kind of far between compared to before, just because like it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it'd be nice if I could just dedicate all my free time to making videos and stuff, but if I continue to not have a great job, or like I'm busy all the time and also don't often feel that great when I get home from work, I'm not going to be able to make videos as often. So it's like, get a better job, then I'll have more time to make videos and stuff, hopefully, and won't be so stressed out with like real life too. But yeah, I am working on other stuff as well. I've got other video ideas, other stream ideas. I'd like to do some more playthroughs because those are pretty simple for me to upload and edit and record and everything, and people actually seem to like those quite a bit. My
long play channel actually has like 80 something subscribers, and I've literally not done anything on it other than long plays. So that's, I think, kind of a sign that I really, really need to do some more playthroughs, and it's been forever since I did one. But anyway, yeah,